Hey guys, it's James here again, and today we've got something fun with us. Now this is the Swiss Arms Protector. Some of you will notice this. It has been around before, renamed as the Cybergun Mini Uzi. That was the first kind of introduction of it. But this is the Swiss Arms Protector, so it's the Swiss Arms version. So it's got Swiss Arms print on the side, etc. Now, you'll notice when you first pick this up that it does come in what I would call a very traditional Cybergun box. Big design on the front and then polystyrene on the inside. Comes with the basics, some free BBs, a little sight post adjuster, a spare bottom cap for the magazine, which is quite nice to have, and an Allen key as well, and obviously the gun and its magazine. So moving on to the gun, this is the important, the interesting bit. It's quite a weighty little thing. For its size, it's got an awful lot of weight to it, and a lot of that is down to its metal construction. All of the lower receiver here is metal, the top slide here is metal, and then also the inside, the actual bolt block itself is enormous, and it's just a solid bit of metal. So there's a lot of weight moving around, which gives really good recoil. So obviously being a blowback gun, you do get a bit of recoil, which is quite nice. Also, the metal is the stock. It's a good length. It seems to sit in the shoulder quite nicely, as nice as you'd expect from a small gun, and it stays out fairly alright. You can move it around if you wobble it, and then all you have to do to put it back in is just fold it and it locks in place. So it's not going to flap around anywhere, and if you are using it folded in, you can almost use it as a little foregrip as well, if you're that way inclined. Now, talking of grips, these are the only plastic bits really on the gun. The foregrip here, plastic. The rear main pistol grip here, which is just a generic style one, is plastic, and then the grip safety is also plastic. Now it's worth kind of mentioning while we're on the subject of safety that the grip safety does work, which is quite nice. Now if you don't want to rely purely on the grip safety, you do have a fire selector on this side. You can see basically you got A for auto, which we cannot put the gun in, unfortunately. Being a 4.5mm CO2 gun or an air gun, we can't have automatic in the UK. For you guys in the States, you can, but unfortunately we can't. You got R for rapid, so semi-automatic fire, and then it's also got a safe function as well. Now the safety catch is very positive. When it goes in, it's in. It's not going to sort of flip between by accident. You do have to make a very purposeful move to swap it between the two. Now when it is in safe, it completely locks the trigger out, so regardless of whether you've got the bolt to the rear cocked ready to go, you cannot use this trigger. If I put it in rapid, you can hear it moves. Now as I say there, it is an open bolt gun, so to cock it, bring the bolt to the rear, and then you pull the trigger and it moves. Now you see there, it does give a bit of a recoil. If you've used one of these guns before, you'll notice that when you've got your cheek resting up against this metal stock, it kind of gives you a bit of a slap in the side. It just adds to the realism, but it does kind of, yeah, it will give you a bit of a kick as you're shooting it. And like I say, the block inside here is a massive bit of metal, so yeah, worth bearing that in mind. Now you can disassemble this gun. There's not really much need to do it. You know, it's not a powder burner. There's not going to be a huge amount to clean. You might just want to lightly oil up where the sort of the metal parts are running along. But to be honest, it doesn't really need to be done. But anyway, we'll talk you through how to do it regardless. Now, first step is to obviously make sure that the magazine is out. I tend to do this with a bolt forward. Obviously, I don't want springs under tension as I'm disassembling it. Now, you've got a small latch on the top here, and you move this back, and it basically releases the top cover. Now, once you've released the top cover, this is redundant. You don't need to worry about this for the moment. Now, this was that massive block of metal that I was on about earlier. You bring this to the back and lift it up, and it all comes out. So that is your recoil block. Now, you've got your recoil spring on the side of it, but that is a massive bit of metal, and then all you've got in here now is just, well, the basic trigger mech, and then where the barrel comes in. So there's nothing really for you to clean. You might just want to loosely oil some of these parts up, but nothing too kind of difficult as such. To put it back together is exactly the opposite. So obviously you just put the bolt in, cover back on, and off you go. So what we're going to do now is obviously put this one back together. We will put a small target out. We're only going to do sort of 6 or so yards. This is a plinking gun. This isn't going to be a pest control or tight grouping match grade toy really. This is purely just for having a bit of a laugh, blowing off cans off fence posts, and as you can see, just putting targets out. But anyway, we'll put a target out, put a full magazine into it, and we'll, 1, see if I can hit it, and 2, see where I can hit it. So yeah, let's get this thing gassed up and let's crack on. Alright, so loading the gun up here, well, the magazine should we say, it's really easy. Just put the CO2 cartridge in, little cap on the bottom. If you've used a lot of the CO2 guns out there on the market, you'll know exactly what I mean. So just thread it on, and then just use the supplied Allen key just to tighten it up. And then it'll get to this point here where it sort of stops, and just wait for the hiss. Lock it off, and we're good to go. So we're going to load the BBs up. We're not going to film this, it's just a simple pull down, drop them in job. And yeah, we'll put the target out. It'll only be sort of five paces, or what should we say, 5 feet. Give it a little bit of a challenge, but yeah, let's have some fun. There we are, all empty. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so as we can see, I'm aiming a little bit high, and that's probably down to my use of the sights, but there is quite a nice little group there. So, you know, if you had cans or paper targets like this out, you could actually kind of get some pretty decent groups. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, I'm actually quite happy with that. So yeah, let's move on to the conclusion. Alright, so that's our review pretty much all done of this gun. Now, it is worth noting and worth just remembering when you're looking at this, that this is a plinking gun. It's a fun gun. It's something just to have a little bit of fun with. And I can't reiterate that enough. Now, the groupings, they are what they are. You know, it could be down to my part using the open sights. It could be down to the fact that this is just, it is what it is. It's a very short barrel, heavy recoil. It's an Uzi. I mean, you know, Uzis aren't renowned for match grade accuracy. It is expensive, but you do get a decent amount for your money. Obviously, being metal and all the rest of it, it's a really nice little weighty gun, and it is blooming good fun. And I know I keep going on about the F word there, but it is a fun little piece that if you're after just something, just rather than, you know, if you spend all night target shooting with your day states or out hunting with your FXs, whatever, if you just want to put a couple of cans up on the fence post, put a target out, invite your mates. I mean, you know, we've got friends with us today here that are going to play with this. This is the gun to bring out. You cannot fire this and not smile, basically. If you shoot this and you don't grin, it's safe to say you're probably dead inside. Like I say, you will get a slap from the stock, but it's all part of the fun. Now, I won't go on any more about it. You probably guessed I really like it. If you do know somebody with one, or you just want something to have a little bit of enjoyment with in your back garden, take a look at this one. They are fairly expensive, but worth every penny. I will put links in the description. Obviously, these come in through SMK in the UK. I'll put a link in the description to their website for anybody who wants to see any more about that. Obviously, if you want to check out more of what we do, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. I go on Facebook more than I do on Twitter, mainly because I don't understand Twitter. So if you want to search that, obviously we'll put links in the description again. So just check us out on Facebook, give us a like if you want to see what's going on. But anyway, until our next video, we're going to carry on playing with this because it's actually quite fun for us to kind of get out and have a bit of a laugh for a change. So we're going to carry on playing with this. If you like what you're seeing, obviously feel free to subscribe. There'll be plenty more coming up. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.